Democratic Alliance, Councillor Skay. Shay, Councillor Shay. Touche. Got it. I won't forget. Councillor Shay.
Good afternoon, Presiding Officer, colleagues in the DA, and other representatives of parties not here to pillage the city. I've brought with this book, which should be required reading for every decision maker in this city. Dr. Seuss's Yertle the Turtle and Other Stories. I know that for some people this may be daunting reading, and in particularly, as the latest literacy stats state, reading for comprehension may be a bridge too far to expect from an ANC education system. So, I'll give you the moral of the story. If you repeatedly ignore the people that hold you up, you are destined to fall. ANC-led and EFF-wagged governments have a long history of failing to serve the residents who fund their governments, and this budget is a continuation of that shameful tradition. I stand here today as we reviewed the public participation process this budget underwent. The city spent an untold fortune running the process, and the only takeaway is that this consultation was a complete farce. We have pages and pages of submissions attached to this report, yet the substance of the attached report seems completely unaffected from the draft furnished months ago. Of particular interest is the fact that the entirety of submissions submitted through the city's website for RDP rates and budget submissions has been withheld from this council. Not only does this government not care to listen to the residents of Johannesburg, but they also want to suppress the voices of those residents. Let me be frank with this council. The public participation process was a waste of money and a pure tick box exercise amounting to malicious compliance. We know for a fact that the public cried out about the removal of the education rates category. And what the original rates policy meant was that the government schools would see a 300% increase in their rates, and private schools a 1,000% increase in their rates. This government claims it listened to the cries, but what is their solution? To phase in these massive increases over a period of 4 years. So the very caring government of local unity is lumping Premier Lesufi's legacy, our chronically underfunded and struggling government schools, with an increase amounting to 50%. And private schools a whopping 150%. At the end of the 4-year phase-in, our broke government schools will be spending 600% more on their rates, and private schools 1,000% more. Obviously, like the election of qualified and quality mayors, education is not a priority for ANC-led and EFF-wagged governments, aka Lesufi governments, which goes a long way to explain our current illiteracy crisis in South Africa. I have in my hand 2 works of fiction.
Councillor Shay, kindly take a seat. There's a hand. Councillor Nonkumbi, you can proceed.
Speaker, part of the African National Congress, in terms of our pillars, is education. Now we cannot be insulted by a non-starter here.
Thank you. Councillor, your point.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Shay, you have 2 minutes.
I hold in my hand 2 works of fiction. Both have lessons to teach us. Yertle the Turtle teaches us about the tragedy of not listening to those who support us. And this budget will tragically teach us that cities' their budgets are not based on reality are doomed to deteriorate further. National Treasury has already pointed out that this government is underfunded. Last year, at her end of her budget speech, Councillor Sotheby presented a gift to Councillor Palazzi, a gift symbolizing her intended legacy for the city. I noticed that all the MMC
Councillor
gave...
Shay, please take your seat. There's a hand. Councillor Nonkumbi.
Can I just ask a question to Mr. Shay?
No questions.
Yes.
No
Can
questions.
I ask that question?
No questions. Point
okay.
of order. Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Shay, proceed.
I noticed that all the MMC gave the mayor was a beat-up old briefcase and an unfunded, worthless budget. But I'd like to keep the tradition alive. So with the Speaker's permission, I'd like to give the MMC a gift regarding his intended legacy. The MMC once had a vision for the city of Joburg. Looking at this budget, it appears that that legacy will never be realized. But with a budget this bad, those Jojo tanks may be needed. The DA will not support such a truly terrible budget among such a flawed public participation process. Thank you.